Let's talk about these developments with the Red Sea and the Houthis.
Yes.
Now, Sam, I'm pretty sure you have clips, and we probably should run them now.
Let's check the receipts, shall we?
There were those of us who believed that this was going to happen. We said it within the first 2 weeks of this conflict.
The Bab el-Mandeb, or as we call it, the BAM, which is that little narrow exit at the end of the Red Sea, right? It is also one of the world's top 5 most strategic straits, because the amount of oil that goes through there, much like the Persian Gulf, 70% of worldwide trade goes through there up into the Suez Canal and kicks you out into the Mediterranean Sea. The Houthis like, we can shut this down too. And if that happens, where they shut down the Strait of Hormuz and the BAM at the same time, the world, not the Middle East, not the United States, not Europe, the world will be crippled. The world will be crippled, and somebody will be forced to act. And that is where we get into the real Wild Wild West territory. This is where the United States may not have allies, but they'll have more sympathetic ears, and the world is going to hold the United States responsible for this. Meanwhile, Iran.
So I have one more to show, and then let's talk.
The States, he's doing this, and he's thinking that the big bad weapons of the United States will freak them out. And they're like, we were here before you, we will be here after you. And the only difference is we are now controlling the Strait of Hormuz, which is on our end. And here's the key thing: the Houthis, who they've been sponsoring for years, are going to shut down the Red Sea, and all oil from the Middle East will stop. And it will bring the world to its knees, and the world will break off from the United States and negotiate directly with Iran. And then the economic fallout of that will happen, because people will pivot off the dollar. They'll stop buying U.S. treasuries. And now the quality of life that we enjoy in the United States, which is overwhelmingly cheaper than it should cost us because we're the currency of the world, goes away, and everything becomes super expensive. And we not only go.
Look, man. I was telling y'all before the show came on, you can call me Negro Damas, rest in peace, Paul Mooney, because it seems like I'm predicting this, but this is not some supernatural ability. This is from someone like me and others who A, had to study this stuff strategically and have to know it. B, had to execute it tactically and know where the weak points are and where the weaknesses can come from. And most importantly, C, understand that no matter how great your weapons are, no matter how well-trained your people are, if you have leadership that does not understand strategic objectives and outcomes, it does not matter. You will lose. And this is where we are. The Houthis making their announcement on the Red Sea was another trump card that, if played simultaneously, now all of a sudden you have to deal with 2 straits, divide your forces, which is going to be even harder because, remember, all of your bases have been bombed out. So logistically, another great challenge. How long can the United States hold out? How long can the world economy hold out? How long can the world sit there and say, we're going to sit by and idly watch this before switching currency preferences, bailing on, like I said, treasuries, bonds, all of these systems and the liberal international order that took place after World War II that the United States set up for the United States before the world abandons it and we never get it back. I think we're almost there. And that will be Trump's legacy. Just like he bankrupted casinos, which are designed for the house to win, he's bankrupting the world order that was designed for the United States to win. It is unbelievable that this is happening.
So yes, and I think that the casino analogy is so apt here because casinos don't lose.
Nope.
You have to really, really work to make a casino lose. And in the same breath, the United States, our military is bigger and more well-sourced than the next something like 9 combined.
Yeah.
This is the biggest military the world has ever seen. But we matched it only by diplomatic power and soft power across the globe. And also, I will say, culture. mostly
Yes.
Black culture, if we're being
Yeah.
honest, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we do all of the things that are envious of the entire world, but not now, not anymore.
So to show you how the priorities have shifted because of the leadership, you mentioned three major things: the military, diplomacy, soft power, and culture. Okay, let's go and work backwards. Culture, specifically, like you said, Black culture that is generated here and spread around the world. But I'll take it a step further: immigrant culture from all over the world that became Americanized, from Latinos to Asians, This administration has gone out of its way to neuter that all over the place. I mean, see our previous episodes. And then you move from there to say the military piece. He wants to increase the budget again for the military while slashing every diplomatic arm, every soft power, from USAID to government sponsorship of NGOs that do great work around the world. Just gutted all in the first 2 years of this administration. And this is the results. You're paying for more just to live, just to survive, subsist. You are literally putting your service members, 50,000 of them in this case, in harm's way. And no one's talking about other places around the world. We're still shooting and blowing up boats in the Caribbean and the Pacific without any due process, any justification. We have, terrorist level threats that really have risen all over the world because of these actions. Americans are less safe, less able to afford life, and, are very sour on their future prospects, all in less than 2 years, based on these strategic shifts, all because of the administration. Now, I will say this. Yes, Trump's the head, but the henchmen that he has doing this, the Hegseths, the Millers, the Holmans, these guys are next level too. And understand, this is an ideological fight that you're dealing with. If Trump, God forbid, or whatever, for some people, if he passed away or something like that, you still have to deal with the structure and the apparatus that he has created. And people are still not thinking that through. To undo all of this is going to take years, right? But more importantly, it's going to take decades for the world to trust us again. It's going to take decades.